Tzadikim b'misoson kruim chayim. Tzadikim, after they've left this world, they're still called living. The beauty of this CD is that we had a tzaddik that lived together with us in this world. He was Mahana the Olam. We had such joy from him, such simcha from his Torah, from his Badchonis, from his Negunim. After he left this world, he continues to be a Melitz Yosher for the entire Mishpacha and for Klal Yisrael. But we also can get a glimpse of the Chaim, of the great life that he brought to everyone. The Balatanya says, Shavik Chaim L'chol Chai, that when a person leaves this world, they left it for all the living. However, he teaches, Shavik Chaim, there are certain individuals that come into this world and make such an impact, an impression on all of us, that they live over life for us to have to add to ours, to become fuller, and they made this world better. My dear friend, my Yedid Nefesh, a Chazan, Rabbi Zaidy Weinreb, he was somebody who left life for everybody, no matter whom you were, no matter how old or how young, no matter from which background you came from. He related to you, and you had to relate to him. He did a lot of chesed in this world. He learned a lot. He was able to raise up a family, a choshev mishpacha in Klal Yisrael, that the children and the grandchildren are making their mark on the Klal. They're all wonderful, choshev people. What a schus it is that Rabbi Eliezer came into this world, and he, together with his Eishes Chayil, Zichronim Livracha, created a whole shevet. Eliezer, of course, comes to mind, the first Eliezer Eved Avraham. The Michtam Eliyahu says the great milas, the attributes of Eliezer. He knew exactly what his job was to be in this world. He was loyal and he was dedicated. Just like our Rebbe Eliezer. He was dedicated and loyal to Klal Yisrael, to his family, to his people, to his minyan. He was an unbelievable neshama that all of us grew to love, that all of us were accepted into his neshama, into his heart. He cared about every single person. How he called people up Erev Shabbos just to say a good Shabbos. People who otherwise I don't know if they ever received calls during the week. He never forgot an almana. He never forgot somebody that needed chizik that wasn't doing well in business. He remembered everyone. He saw what most of us failed to see. And it's interesting, he's a chazan. Reb Nachman of Bresler says that what does it mean, chazan? Chazan is Lashon chazon. He's able to see, like Chazon Yeshayahu. Reb Lezer was able to see so much in this world. He was gifted, truly gifted. And now, after 120 years, we're able to sit and to think about and to reflect upon the life of a great person that graced this world. It's interesting that Reb Simcha Bonav Pezhischa asked the question, why is it that the children come and they say Kaddish? What is the necessity of saying Kaddish? We know the greatness. We know what this great neshama had done in this world. We remember him well. But what is the need to say Kaddish? And he answers that sometimes in an army, you have one of the troops and they're all marching down the street, and one man falls down. He dies. Well, the troops go into formation, they cover up the missing hole, and they continue to march. That's not so with a soldier in the army of Hashem. Just one soldier, one great neshama passes on. The family has got to go to say Kaddish. They have to announce to the tzibor. They have to announce to the entire world. There is a general that has fallen. There is a person in the army of Hashem that did his work and did his work beautifully. Mahadran min Mahadran. Take note. All of us, family, Taira Mishpacha, friends, Klal Yisrael, try as we may to fill that gap, that missing void that was left here in this world. Be'ezus Hashem, may we soon see coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu, the Kitzu Yiranenu Shoich Niachor, when we'll once again hear the beautiful voice. We'll hear that voice of Rebbe Eliezer, who gave out so much in his life. We'll sing together and we'll dance together with him. B'mhei Rav Yomeinu.
I would like to introduce now someone who I'm not quite sure the introduction, but it's a Chazan Zaidy Weinreb, who comes to the last appearance. It was at the Metropolitan Museum, Metropolitan something.
Good luck to everyone. Could you hear me? Yes. I hear you very well also. I want to thank Gary for inviting me here tonight. I don't know if I should speak Yiddish or English. Because I was riding on a subway this week, a woman comes over to me, says, "Ihr redt Yiddish?" Sag, "Yeah." "Ihr versteht Yiddish?" Sag, "Yeah." "You know what time it is, please?" But I want to thank Gary for asking me to make the appeal here tonight, so don't get nervous, please. Seriously speaking, about 2 months ago, 2 o'clock in the morning, my phone rang. I said, "Hello?" He says, "This is Ari Baker." I said, "What do you want? 2 o'clock in the morning, you call me?" He says, "I'm sorry," hangs up. The next night, 3 o'clock in the morning, I called him. I said, "Ari?" "Yes." I said, "I'm sorry to bother you." He says, "It's all right. I had to get up to answer the phone anyway." I said, "Tell me, what did you want last night?" He said, "Well, I'll tell you what we wanted. Our shul's making Malava Malka. We'd like to have you come and entertain. Do you think you can come?" I said, "What are you going to pay me?" He says, "Well, pay you what you're worth." I said, "Im Zis kann ich nicht kommen, I'm sorry." He said, "Well, tell me, how much do you want?" I said, "Well, you know, for the shivy, I'll make it $20. He says, "It's a little too much, you know. We can't afford it. It's a new shul. We're only here 10 years. So what should I do?" I gave him off $10, and he took off $10 and do business. But you know, when I look around here, it reminds me of a wedding I came to here maybe several months ago. I see by a wedding at a chuppah in this hotel. So they had the maid honor. You know, you don't see it too much today. Years ago, in our times, we had it. But today, very seldom. So there's a maid of honor walking down. Says a Hasidic man sitting next to me. He says, "Wer is dus?" So dus the maid of honor. Sagt er, "Wer?" Sagt der maid of honor. Sagt er, "Ich weiß nicht. Geht von einer heißen Wanne, einer kalten Wanne, maid anwesend gut." Meanwhile, we sat down at the table here, and they served the food here, and they served the main dish. Lost board, please. They served the main dish, a steak, a rib steak, the way the Washington Hotel makes it. Terrific, I'm telling you. Anyway, so there's a man sitting next to me, and he takes a knife, cuts off one piece, chews it, spits it out, puts it back into his pocket, and he eats up the entire piece of steak. I missed it, it's not my business. What's going on here? You take the first piece, you chew, you spit it out, and then the rest of the piece you're eating up. He said, "I'll tell you, mach einen kurzen Schab. Wenn man wechselt, Kassen, du heim bei Nacht, hat man war mir ungewünscht, so die Stück wäre mit dem echten Biss." We need an interpreter for that or not? Meanwhile, there's another man sitting on the... Let's get my board, please. There's another man sitting on the other side, and he's not eating. So man next to him says, "What's the matter, you don't eat?" He says, "Forget some the sign in the hand. He forgot his teeth at home." He says, "1 minute, don't worry. I got a pair of teeth here. I'll lend them to you." He gives him a pair of teeth. He says, "How are these?" He says, "Too big. See, guys. 1 minute, I got another pair. Try these. How are these?" "Not too small. See, Clay. 1 minute, I got one more pair. I think these are going to be good for you." Takes the other pair, tries them on, and says, "Oi, I'm a chaya. I danke him. He's an dentist." He says, "No, ich habe it in Schwarz's funeral parlor." You know, when I look around this this hotel 2 years ago, seriously speaking. We made a bar mitzvah here March 4th for my son, my oldest son. He was bar mitzvah here 32 years ago. The ownership knows, because I owe money here. All right. But I'll never forget, we had like a Shabbos bar mitzvah until Sunday morning, and I'll never forget Saturday morning, 6 o'clock, they knock on my door. I said, what is it? He says, we need your linen. I said, you need my linen? We're still sleeping here. So we have to set the dining table. So I said, but listen, what about all the flies here? He said, don't worry, they all go into the dining room for breakfast. Meanwhile, I said, what about all the bed bugs here? He said, shh, there isn't a single bed bug. I said, you're right, they're all married, have big families. But we had a very nice time here at the bar mitzvah here, and I remember we were sitting at the table, and then they served soup for lunch, I remember. And one plate of soup had a hair in it. So I called over the waiter, he said, what do you want for each to the boss? So I called over the boss, he said, there's a who doing soup. He said, what do you want for $10 a couple of shaidu? Then they served another plate of soup, and what do you think we found in a fly? So we called over the waiter, he says, talk to the boss. I call over the boss, there's a fly in the soup. He says, Yeshikoyach. I said, what do you mean Yeshikoyach? He says, oh, we were trying to catch that fly. You caught the fly. No, this is a very high-class hotel. I once came here with my wife during the summer. I said, I want a room and a bath. They said, a room we can give you, a bath you take yourself. You know what I mean? But you know, when I look at you people, I don't mean the younger people. I mean those who are a little higher up, you know what I mean? It reminds me of years ago, before I was married, I formed a Nebuch organization. Alle die was so Nebuch Hasnu, the president Nebuch, could you imagine? And they used to fix me up with shadichim left and right. A shotgun one says, I have a girl for you, terrific girl, 18, 19. I went out with her, she looked like she was born in 18, 19. Then they once came around to me, they have a very nice girl for me, terrific girl. Oh, what should I say? But she's not good looking, $50,000. I figured $50,000, now good looking, I'll put the girl in the bank and I'll use the money. Seriously speaking, my father says, no, it's Teugnish. He says, Chasna mit a Miese Mädel, die tun 3 Miese Töchter, kosten $150,000, say Chasna zu machen. You'll lose $100,000 on a deal, it's not for you, stay away. But seriously speaking, I remember years ago, when we used to go up to the Pioneer Country Club. Any of you went to the Pioneer Country Club? I mean, we had to go up there. I remember I came up there on a Friday afternoon, comes over and says, oh, how are you? When did you arrive? I said, no. I said, that's nice. He says, when are you going home? I said, Sunday. He says, that's nice. I mean, they were very sociable. When I used to go to Pioneer Club, all the girls used to run after me. Ich played Zigarren in their pocketbook. They all used to run after me. But seriously speaking, getting back to the shul that you are all connected with, I damned there once on a Friday night, and I came over to Balabatim, I heard about Tefillah. I said, you have a wunderbar Tefillah? He says, yeah, you like him? I says, ha wunderbar mit dem Ziegelos. And I remember davening one Shabbos morning there, and they asked me, how do you like the Baal Tefillah? I said, oh, everything is good. Especially his Stillish Mein Esther, that was wonderful. That was the best of all. No, I mean it, I'm just telling you. But it's a very nice shul. In my shul, I done a bar park to the Stiebel there. Every morning is a man, he has Yotzei. Every morning he has Yotzei for his phone. After 1 week, I said, look me, you got a mama and a tata. What's going on here? He said, got a mama, a tata. No, my tata is gestorben for Hinger jeden Tag. So I have Yotzei every day. But you know, in Flatbush, Canary had so many shuls compared to years ago. In Borough Park, we also have, on every corner we have a Rebbe. You know, in the Bronx, I was brought up in the Bronx, on every corner, 50 years, you had a drugstore. In Borough Park, you have a Rebbe on every... There's a woman next door to me, her kid swallowed a quarter Erev Shabbos. She ran to the Rebbe in the corner. So the Rebbe said, listen here, mein Kind hat eingeschwingen, Vater. Whose Kind geht zu mir? Says, geht ein Rebbe, kann ruhig schleppen Geld. You know what I mean? So she ran. There's another woman on my block, she was pregnant this week. She ran to the grocery on the corner. And Rav came to Kimpit. Said, "Who's Kimpit to me?" Gave him a money's husband. Said, "Who's has free delivery?" What do you mean? But anyway, mind you, I have a friend of mine. His uncle bought a chicken farm in Jersey, 50,000 chickens, and all the chickens are dying out on it. So he ran to his Rebbe. He said, "Rebbe, who's the chicken starve mois? You ought to have a fear." He says, "Yeah, get a yellow meal test and take yellow cornmeal. Give him 3 days yellow cornmeal." He went back, gave me yellow cornmeal, dying out. He went back to the Rebbe. "Rebbe, who's the chicken starve mois? You ought to have a fear." He says, "Yeah, get a Salz test and take salt. Give him salt for 3 days." Went back, he gave him salt, starve nach Halzois. He went back, Rebbe, you ought to have a fear. He says, "Get a vinegar test and vinegar, white vinegar." Comes back, "Rebbe, the chicken starve nach Halzois. You ought to have a feast." The Rebbe says, "You have plenty of feast, you ought to have chickens on." But getting back to, I was told not to keep it too long, not more than 2 hours. Yeah. I have a friend of mine, he's a rabbi out of town. So we always used to speak a few minutes. One Shabbos he spoke about 1 hour. You don't know what happened? So they asked him, "What happened today?" He spoke 1 hour. He said, "My shvig is in my house for Shabbos. By mistake, I put on her teeth." It happens, you know what I mean? Then I have another friend of mine. He's a rabbi out of town. He used to speak 5 minutes, 7 minutes. One spoke 2 hours. They asked him, "Rabbi, what have you spoke so long today?" Because every Shabbos, I always take a candy, a pashke candy, and I suck on it 5, 7 minutes, and I finish. This Shabbos, by mistake, I took a button from my pocket. But getting back 2 years ago, I'll never. I was telling you about. I was going up to the mountains with my wife this summer. We went up to a hotel, you know, one of those old-time hotels, and I went in there. I said, "Kosher?" They said, "Yeah. Du musst gehen, wie? Sitzt in der Lobby, mit der langen Boot." I went over there. Said, "Sucht mir, hier sind die Mitglieder." He says, "Yeah, such schon mal lechen. Wir können essen." Du sagt, "Ich weiß nicht." So, "Who says hier sind die Mitglieder?" He says, "What do you want? They don't let me in the kitchen." I mean, that's So anyway, I remember I checked into that hotel there, and I was standing by the desk, and the man comes running down, and he says, "I don't want that room." I said, "What's the matter?" He says, "You know, Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, we say, Adam Yisrael Miyavim Sefer Offer. A man comes to dust, a man goes to dust. There's someone under my bed. I don't know if he's coming or going." I'll tell you. But anyway, I was going to tell my wife, and we got on the bus, you know, the Port Authority, took a bus to Monticello. We got on the bus, as soon as we come Paramus, the bus driver stops the bus, and he yells to the back, "Will you get that bag out of the aisle?" Says the man in the back with a little beard, he says, "Yeah, bum 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 bim 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 bum. Hey, yeah, bum 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 bim bum bim bim bum bum." Finally, we keep going. We get to Middletown. The bus driver stops the bus, turns to the back, and says, "Will you get that bag out of the aisle?" This man in the back with a beard says, "Yeah, bum 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 bim bum bim 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 bum. Hey, yeah, bum 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 bim bum bim 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 bum." We finally get to Whitesboro, and he turns to the man in the back. He says, "If you don't get that bag out of the aisle, I'm going to throw it up front." The man in the back with the "Yeah, bum 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 bim bum bim bim bum bum. Hey, yeah, bum 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 bim bum bim bim bum bum." We finally get to Rock Hill there, and he throws the release up front. He says, "Are you satisfied now?" The man in the back gives him the "Yeah, bum 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 bim bim bum bum. Hey, yeah, bum 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 bim bim bum." We finally get to Monticello, and he said, "Look, if you don't get that bag out of this aisle in the front, I'm going to throw it off in Ferndale." So the man in the back gets over to "Yeah, bum bum bum." Meanwhile, everyone on the bus knew the nig, and they all joined in. "Yeah, bum 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 bim bim bum bum. Hey, yeah, bum 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 bim bim bum." Gets to Ferndale, takes the Bowser out. He says, "Are you satisfied now?" The man in the back with bells gives out even bells. "Yeah, bum 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 bim bim bum. Hey, yeah, bum bum bum. This is not my bed." I just want to end up again with a few ways. When I was going out years ago with different girls here and there, they tried to fix me up. When I came to my future father-in-law's house, so he started questioning me, I was on an interview, and he says to me, "You like my daughter?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "You'll be a devoted husband to my daughter?" I said, "Yeah." "You'll take care of my daughter while?" I said, "Yeah." "You can leave it." Everything he asked me, I said, "You can leave that to me." He says, "You can make a living?" I said, "That I'll leave to you." But then he found out I'm a chazan, a cantor. He said, "Look, you're a nice lady, you're nice, but I don't want a chazan for a son-in-law." I said, "Look, I'm not like the other, I'm a professional." I said, I said, "You know what? Sunday night I'm giving concert in Stony Hill, Torah. Here's 2 tickets. Come with your wife and hear me, and then you judge yourself." So I gave him 2 tickets. He came Sunday night with his wife. Monday morning, 6 o'clock, he calls me up. He's laser. "I heard you last night. You can marry my daughter, but it's nicht kein chazan." I'd like to sing for you now a Yiddish song that I sang 50 years ago also. It's called Baba Malka. If you can all join in when I tell you to join in. But please, don't walk out, please. Di melave malke in amukim kovodish sitzen jeden am langen Tisch mit a Stückel Chawalen teilen sie sich Chawalen mit a Stückel Hering, was es nicht du kein Fisch. Und der Rebbe soll leben, Gita sog mir soll geben, Hering zu alle versammelte Jiden dort. Und mit sein Eug geht Rabbin zu der Chasen, als soll gehen als hin. Sie mir ist mit alle Jiden zusammen. Oi, oi, boim, bom, bom, bom. Shabbos is a Tug fin Rüyen vergnügen, tut nicht kein Business, darf mit sich nicht kriegen, man esst und mit trinkt und man singt da Nigien, lech wei, mit Danken und leiben dir, teure Boy. Was du hast gegeben uns in die heilig teure, in Asan Lanu teuras Emes, teuras Emes. Alle zusammen. Chaye Olam Nata B'Sacheinu, Chaye Olam Nata B'Sacheinu, Chaye Olam Nata B'Sacheinu, B'Sacheinu. Oidapam, b'Sacheinu, Oidapam, b'Sacheinu, Chaye Olam Nata B'Sacheinu, B'Sacheinu. Jede Shabbos Kodesh kommt und geht aber her. Und für jüdische Tourist nimmt als nicht kein Weg. Arabisch ein 2000 Jahren, wie wir beten und wir hoffen, freigib bei Gott nur, was wird sein der Sohn. In Schirr ist ein ganz dunkel, man kann kemat kaum sehen, steht der alte Gabe dort beim Mund mit ganz allein. Und mischt im Sitte und sagt wieder und wieder. Shir Amar Wawalois Es Weina Yevelohim Meya Yinya Vayezri Meya Yinya Vayezri Wenn wann wird dein Hilfe kommen, dein Hilfe wird kommen für sein Leben, heilig in Amen. Der Shabbos geht da weg, doch so kommen zu gesunden Leben von jüdische Zures, so nehmen an Neck, mit Sonnen kennen unser Gott leben. Wenn wir werden oben bei uns ganze Land, dem Landen alle Gitten, werden wir alle Kinder banan, dem Schabes kennen hitten, der Schabes heute geht weg, die wollen so kommen zu gesundem Leben. Die Schützer sollen nehmen an Eck, wir sollen kennen unser Gott, Leute.
And Zaidy's voice coming out of singing Al Anisim. If everyone is really good and claps very loud, maybe we can get Zaidy to sing Al Anisim right over here. Al Anisim is there you go. I don't know, not good enough. Zaidy likes a crowd of about 6,000 people. Al Anisim is a melitzvah, a prayer that we thank Boga, we thank God, Spasiba Boga, for all the miracles, all the tshuda that God made for us all throughout the generations, not only at the time of Hanukkah, but even today.
Allah nisim vi Allah purkon vi Allah gevurais vi Allah chuais vi Allah milchamais sheyes isalam seyenu bayom emaim bazman hazer bayom emaim bazman hazer bam 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 my kisho ben yoy khanan koyen godor my hash my no oh no kishi anda malakhu shalom ay malakhu shalom shalom ay alam khayisru alam khayisru I'm saying, I'm Allah nisim biyal, ha'purkon biyal, biyal, ha'chuwesh, biyal, ha'milchamesh, sheyes yisrael v'seyenu, bayom emaim bazman hazeh, bayom emaim bazman hazeh. Yaakov v'chamer v'charadim, Oman etzomem yesurasam, Hayrato v'sigam d'azidinam, Netrato v'snikrasam, Masato dibadim v'yamavat chaloshim, V'gavim meyad v'yatim, Utmei miyad radim, V'shov miyad tzadikim, V'yad v'zim shelo yisachom, Allah nisim v'yad Yom Chayis Ubelos, to the Yugadala, Yachad came over Necho, and very Secho, Afinu, Esecho, Malecho, but you have a West League of Shecho. Everyone, Allah Nisim, Yikavu Shemayna Shemecha Nuko Shemecha Nuko Elo V'yayvay Shaliyane Shimcha Vadodo V'yayda Shaliyane L'Shimcha Vadodo L'Shemecha Vadodo Anisu V'kam Yallah Gevurah V'yal Achihuaz V'yal Amin Chamesh Sheyesi Shalavi Seyinu Bayim Ibrahim Hazeh Hazeh Kayamim Ohem Bazman Hazeh
Thank you. في بين عبيسان لغا خلق صوب يعبر عبيسان سيدان أضغط منها أضغط منها يا خير يا فمن وسيم في صدقي تعيس ظنهم عيس ظنهم يعطينا كيف النغم من الشوي صغير وصغير من الشوي من الشوي صغير وصغير أبيك بيته بيته عبد يا فنسان لفيت سلام لفيت سلام لفيت سلام لما أبي معلمي على الزايد بنية طيبة أي بنية طيبة لا 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 لما ليس لسالي سيدنو أي بنية طيبة
Spielen Fiedler, tanzen Liederler, tapfen euch im kleinen Kreis, in dem nahen Beisamigdash, bei der alte Mann ist scheiß. Sie ein sehr gesunde Mutter, like eine unsere Futter, ist Gott a Gute, verlässt uns nicht, lass mir Gott ständig bleiben, wird uns Kajach geben, alles an ihm, ihr Leben, ein boing, 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 Achten werd nicht mir. Spielen Fiederlach, tanzen Liederlach, ach, wenn euch im kleinen Kreis in der Nahen, ich sah mir das, der alte Mann ist scheiß. Wie im Wallen wir singen, in die Herzen reindringen, Israels Namen wird abklingen, auf der Welt fahren, wer ist wer zu uns dort kommen, wollen wir schön ganz aufnehmen, wollen keinen nicht verschämen, bin beim, bin hat uns verschämt. Spielen Fiederlach, tanzen Liederlach, ab, wenn euch im kleinen Kreis in der Nahen, besser haben wir das, auf der alte Mann ist scheiß. Annemisse, eishes chayil, annemisse, eishes chayil. Mein liebe Freund, mein Gede, allei, annemisse, eishes chayil, annemisse, eishes chayil. An liebe Freund, ja, gitte mamenu. Als a feine Freude sie bringt in heiß noch Harmonie. Wenn is a Symphonie, heißes Chayil, mir im Zorn, heißes Chayil, oh ja, heißes Chayil. Forgot the words. Boing, 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 boing. Boing, 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 boing. Yeishes Chayil. Yum bum, bim bum, bim bum. Yum bum, bim bum, bim bum. Yoing bum, bim bum. Ay bum, bim bum. Ay bum, bim bum. Ay yum bum, bim bum, bum. Yum bum, bim bum, bum. Young bum, bim bum. Ay bum, bim bum, bim bum. Ay, bim bum bim bum bim bum. Yum bum 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 bim bum bim bum bim bum bim bum. Yum bum bim bum bim bum bum. Yum bum bim 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 bum bum. Bum bum bim bum bim bum bim bum. Yum bum bim bum bim bum bim bum bim bum. Yum bum bim bum bim bum. Inshu by the moon, like in the star, cousin to me. und fangen Daven in Schachris, hat so now it's mine. In Schul bei dem Mummi bleibt uns die Stadt Hasen zu mir und fangen Davenen Schachris Ota zoi Sheikhena Mugaim Vikadoi Shemoi Und die Mischerem größen Kleine haben geämpft Berine Yispoel Shimecha Maleke Weinhu mit Gedaven, mit Islavin. Sie ist gewähnt an Emesse, oinek Shabbos. In Heus, auf der Gas und in Schuhe, hat Azoi ist gewesen amul. Und die Nischumme Jesaire, hat Patrin die Waffen dicke Molle schreierin beim Schießte, beim Schneide, beim Schmiede, beim Beide ist gewinnen Heus auf Agenigen jeder Ribas Hinde beim Tisch mit seinen Kindern ob in alle Wege singen, dem Chasens Niegen. Yismach Moishe, B'mahat Na'asel Koi, Ki Eved Ne'eman Koras Eloi, Ki Eved Ne'eman Koras Eloi, Yismach Moishe, B'mahat Na'asel Koi, Ki Eved Ne'eman Koras Eloi, Ki Eved Ne'eman Koras Eloi. Aber ein steht der mit Fajus im Talein, weil der Jid hat kein Zeit mit in Schule reingehen. Die Schule, was gewesen amul, die Freit vom ganzen Volk ist well, es geblieben heint an Ort, not zu suchen Kaddish Tov. Ne du kein Chaz, ne du kein Chol, die Schule ist leidig a ganz Jahr, der Scham ist sich Tarmayi, a koyein allein wie gefind men hier. Einmal in Jura beschließt ganz cool, mit darf aufnehmen nach Hasen in der Schule, der beste, größte Künstler auf der Welt, weil mit dazu in der Morgen und ist nicht so kein Geld. Und wenn der Jid wird allemal gegangen in der Schule, Shabbos Yantiv jeden Tag in Jul, gewähnt wird la Yehudim a Yisroel, besinneche so was ein Vikar, wenn der Jid wird allemal gegangen in der Schule, Shabbos Yantiv jeden Tag in Jul, gewähnt wird la Yehudim a Yisroel, besinneche so sein Vikar. Hashem, Baruch Hashem v'Shimecha, Chasam v'Chalom, Gilavino, Yitza v'Chedro, Ahava v'Yachavo, V'Shalayim v'Ve'eyu. Yehu v'Adoinu Eloheinu, Yeshua B'Yovareyu V'Do, Orechut Shalom.